And we are live. Christy, you there?
Hey Nino, I am here. How are you?
Very good. Tired. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left my people. I had to go live, sis. We've been too busy, me and Steph running around. And I know you got some heavy issues on your heart. We're gonna touch on that, ladies and gentlemen. We're live real quick. We're gonna bust a live tonight on a Thursday, May 1st, May Day, 6:51 p.m. Do you know where your kids
And we
are? And there I am live. Boom. Okay, my bad, y'all. My YouTube's going in. All right. Anyways, we're live. That's what happens when you go live. So, Chrissy, we're streaming right now on YouTube and the Facebook. I ain't gonna lie, my Facebook is doing big numbers. I finally hit 50K, sis. Woo!
That is so awesome. That is so awesome.
I can't even believe it, sis. After all, I stood tall after it all, baby. Let's go. What's up?
And I'm just saying, like, so I haven't been able to post as much and
Yeah.
interact as much online as I usually do. But I always keep up with your stories and your posts and all this, and just have seen like the people that like the things that are happening in your city and how people are like backing you and they're starting to get a little mini Nino voice, but not nobody will ever be Nino America. But just really with the stuff that I'm seeing that you're doing, it's really in your own city. It's eye opening, like to what's going on in the world.
Yes, sis, I really wish I was on the Patch Boys podcast. Shout out to Patch Boys. Drop it tomorrow. Man, two great guys. I'll talk about them in a minute. I'm going to bring up their page. But they asked me, sis, it's like everything they asked me, they thought that they knew the answer, right? Or not. I don't think they knew the answer, but I know I shocked them when I answered them. They're like, when people reach out to you to help them or whatever, like what makes you like pick somebody or what makes you go do this? And I told them straight up, sis, I said, I don't want to do this. And then fools looked at each other like they started laughing. Sis, I'll keep it real. You know me, sis. I love being at the house with my dogs and my daughter and my wife and my kids. I don't want to do nothing. I'm a lazy hard worker. I want to haul my loads and I want to go home and sit down on the couch. So it was a pretty good podcast yesterday, sis. And I even told them, like I tell everybody right here, I ain't trying to be a hero. I ain't trying to be, if nobody else does it, who's gonna do it? I don't want to. I want to be at the house. I believe, sis. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. One thou wow, like the kids say. I believe in healthy selfishness, sis. We should all prioritize our homes, our families, our kids. And you know what? If I don't want to help build a freaking renovation for Midland College at the tune of $450 million, I shouldn't have to do that crap. It's my freaking money. I want it now. So I'm just saying, we keep it real. Go ahead.
I gotta say this. So whatever you posted yesterday of the man, or maybe it was today.
Yeah.
A little bit off on my times, but of the one that really broke down the numbers.
Ooh, that was crazy, huh?
I'm like, wow. It really like showed the corruption. It showed like how greedy people truly are. It was just so eye opening. People really need to watch that because if it's happening in Midland, you better believe it's happening everywhere.
Sis, and that's the main problem. And shout out Vanessa on the live here on Facebook. Shout out Vanessa Stars. I forgot what her name is on IG. Sis, everybody has different names on different accounts. I even know Sister Nessa from Cali has a different name on Facebook. So, anyways, shout out Vanessa right there. I know she's on the East Coast. We're gonna talk about some Trump stuff late right here, but I just ain't been really too much on the political scene. I've been on the local stuff. I'm gonna be honest, sis. You're right. If this stuff happens in my city, it's happening everywhere. And to be honest, it's corrupt as hell. Now I got a fraud, or let me just say it like this: I got a local hater news radio host that don't like me. Obviously, he don't like me for going to speaking at the council meetings and taking my vote no sign. Well, I gotta take it with me, sis. They're stealing our signs, so I gotta keep my sign next to me. But I'm gonna tell you something. Little viejito. I'm gonna tell you. I will go to any city council meeting I want to, and I will lift my voice, and I will take any freaking sign I want to. I don't care what you got to say about it. So I got some player haters on me, sis, and it's an uprising. It's an uproar in my city. And the point is this, back to what I was saying, don't want to go off too many tangents over here, but if they're doing it in my city, they're doing it in yours too. What they are doing are bonds. Sis, I even told this council the other day, I haven't even dropped my second video. I said, why don't y'all protect us? I said, this bond is hogwash. It's full of bloat, wasteful spending. And I did another video on the actual numbers, and there's all kinds of wicked things and fraudulent activity here. I said, why don't y'all protect us? Like, why don't y'all see this bond coming and be like, no, you can't throw us on the city to, vote or not vote on this bond? I said, what stops me from going with 20 people and formulating a bond myself and then putting up for a vote in the off season and then having people that don't even know it's happening. They don't vote, but my people vote like they're doing us. And then what happens if I could do that and I could win a bond, right? And give me a couple of milli, like what stops?
Yeah.
Why don't y'all do for us and stop these people from putting these damn ballot bonds on the ballots? And the point is,
You
y'all,
know what?
no, let me just finish. Last thing, sis. The thing is, y'all, this is happening across the nation. These
Hmm.
woke colleges, the professor from Midland College denied Christ on the actual video, got him on camera, and he said that he helps illegals. He's from Fresno. He works at Midland College. The people that want our money are woke leftists, and they use these
Yeah.
college bonds and school bonds to basically keep you in debt with your property taxes, where you never own your house. Of course, you never really pay your house off because you got to pay off that mortgage, and they have these bonds and these taxes stacked on top of your mortgage payment, sis. When I started realizing how it all works, I'm like, damn, this is like a plot to keep us broke forever. Socialism, something, and it's happening in every city, sis. San Angelo, Big Spring, Midland, Odessa, all over the United States, y'all. They're doing these bond packages that these woke colleges and schools and all these people do, hospitals, and they put together a package, and it's a bond slash tax. They put it up to vote, and most people don't even like to freaking go vote. And there they are with their whole staff goes in there and passes a bond where you got to pay $15 to $20 a month for 40 years, and then it raises up with your property value going up. And they made a flyer says it's only $15 a month extra, yeah, for 40 years, and then it raises up as your property taxes go up. And then in the bond,
Yep.
it's written, sis, that they can raise your property the rate whenever they want to pay the bond sufficient of. Basically, they're saying that they can raise the rate, or they can raise your payment on the bond whenever they want. So it's 15 now, right? In a year, it could be 100 a month. It could be 200 a month. It could be 1,000 a month if they want.
Hmm.
But like they said, they're like used car salesmen. No disrespect to the car salesman out there, but whenever they talk about that, sis, pennies on the dollar, or it's only this much. It's only $15. That's the language you need to be very careful, because Benjamin Franklin, there's a quote that he said, sis. I don't know if you can pull it up, but it's a very famous quote. The little expenses turn into big ones. Basically, a little
Yep.
hole in your ship can sink a ship. So don't think that, oh, it's only $15 a month. Yeah, right. My wife said it. If someone came to my house and stole $20 off my counter, right, sis, we'd have problems, right? Think about that. So
Absolutely.
you're gonna steal 20
Absolutely.
from me for 40 years? Screw you. Go ahead, sis. Sorry.
No, so I've got 2 points that I want to make. The first one is you're absolutely right that they put in the fine print that you better read really, really carefully, that they can up those fees at any time, and then ends up your property is owned by the city of Midland or the
Yeah.
county of
Or any
Midland,
city. Or any
whatever.
city. Yeah.
Right. Any city, just using that hypothetically. But the other thing I want to say is this: you were talking about the radio host that doesn't like you. Just remember, these are the same circle of people that we've talked
Yup.
about. They're the ones that want to keep the books in the libraries that the children
Yup.
should not be able to see. They're the ones that don't want to come up with any solutions. They're the ones that have all these meetings and never do anything. They're the ones that didn't like Mr. Krause, rest in peace, because of his strong activism for
Sis,
Midland.
and they're
And
they're kind of. I'm not saying they're comparing me to him, but I see a parallel. Sis, he was exposing some things,
mhm,
and it's getting pretty
yeah,
dangerous. I'm gonna be honest. Continue.
mhm.
Sorry. Do you see the parallels? Let's be honest.
I, I sent you that. I sent you that message tonight. We haven't had a chance to talk as much as we usually do, but I sent you that message just to let you know that you and your family were my prayers, because although I haven't been able to post a lot and chat a lot, I've been keeping up with what's going on, and that putting that hedge of protection around your family with prayer is something that I felt real strongly to send you that message, because I see that a lot of people are. I'm going to say it again, are starting to get the mini Nino voice and are standing up and saying things like Nino said. Nino told us that this was going to happen. So, I'm glad to see that that's happened, and people are finally at least waking up a little bit to it. But we have to break that circle of corruption that is the center of
Sis,
everything.
sis,
And
I'm gonna be
go ahead.
honest. I don't think it's possible, because I started exposing this and people are writing me. You know me, sis. Everybody give me the info. They had a damn shooting down there, the damn fair. I was with my family there. I ain't even talk to you about that, sis.
I saw that. I
Hey,
saw that
I
on
know
the
the
thing though.
I know the whole story. People, witnesses, and everything called me, wrote me, and I got all the info. But I'm waiting on the MPD to do their job and to put out the correct facts. And I'll leave it at that for now. But I hope they do. Will they? I don't know. But the point is this: from what I've been gathering, sis, this city is corrupt as hell, and it's not hard to tell.
Mhm.
I've been meeting with these politicians for the last two council meetings, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm a good judge of character, okay? And I
Absolutely.
honestly don't think, for the most part, that not all, but mostly all of them, I don't think they really have the best interest of Midland at heart. They say they do, but sis, they only see us when we go in there pissed off with our pitchforks and, ready to rock and roll. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But when they're there together with the big oil execs, when they're having their luncheons and their suits and they're talking amongst each other, you think they really care about the tax-paying citizen of Midland, Texas? Hell no. They only
No.
care about what they can get away with. That's just
Yep.
my honest opinion. You ain't gotta like it. I ain't got the proof just yet. Well, actually, I got a lot of proof, but I ain't releasing it just yet. But the point is, y'all, something wicked is happening in my city. We're starting to ask questions, and here they are with this huge bill. Sis, I did another video on it. These people want $450 million. Okay, let me just break this down real quick. $450 million bond that with interest turns into $1.1 billion in 30 to 40
Mhm.
years. They say it's $15 a month. Think about it. It's probably going to be 20 to 30 a month you're going to pay. When your property tax go up, it's going to be even more. So they are trying to pass this bond to renovate a dead campus. Since I went and walked through the campus, ain't nobody around. Friends and family tell me, hey, my kid did went there. My niece, they go to class. There's 8 people in class. This is a freaking dead campus. I'm like, who's getting
Yep.
paid? Why are they really pushing this freaking bond? There has to be another reason, sis, and I think we all know why. Because they want a big old blank check that they could sit there and divvy amongst themselves. Now, let me show you
Absolutely.
something that was pretty weird, sis. So it's 450 million in the actual applied technology future programming. Huh, he says, they got pissed when they saw me coming to the first meeting. Huh? They said, oh hell no, he's against
I
us.
know they did.
Okay, hey, we
I
go,
was like,
sis. You know
here
me.
goes Dino.
I'm a tight, frugal son of a gun, and I go line. Baby, I want to know how much every piece of paper cost. So it says on this
I gotta
actual.
tell you that I gotta tell you this real quick. So
Go ahead.
every time I see you walk, every time I see you walk in to one of the meetings or
What,
to
sis?
a rally or whatever, I go, here come the Christians,
Yup,
because
yup.
you've done it so much. And but with that, it's not, not even talking about the Christianity part of things. It's just the moral and ethical
Hell
things that you see
yeah.
going on.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
and the Patrick boys asked me, man, so why do you do this, or what good do you want for the city, or what they say they're building parks? Are you happy with that? I said straight up, bro. I honestly don't care. I said if they're
Right.
doing good things for the city, that's cool. I said, but I don't want to pay for it. I mean, whatever they're doing, I don't want to pay for it. I honestly just care about my own family. So that's what drives me is that I know I'm going to pay for this, and this right here is going to actually affect all of us. So that's why I know people are resonating with my message because they don't want to pay this either. So let me get back to this line item. So in the applied technology, line by line, it's in here. If you look in, zoom in. I'm not going to zoom in, but I'm on my phone. It says future programming, sis.
Mhm.
$5.7 million. That's all they give us. That's all they give
Wow.
us. Okay. Right here in applied technology, hold on, health sciences. Check this out. They have furniture, fixtures, and equipment, $3.5 million. Okay, nothing. They ain't telling us what they're buying. Nothing. And let me continue. Okay, in the same one, other. This is crazy. Other infrastructure. That's all it says, sis. $3 million. Okay, let me continue. Right here, they have in the applied technology, the same category, other infrastructure, $10 million. So you
Wow.
got $13 million really unaccounted for in the other category. It's like they just got the money. Somebody said, damn, Nino, do they really have an itemized list that they got from all the contractors to pay for all this stuff? Or did they just start filling in the blanks where to put the money? I don't think they did this thing correctly. They just wanted to get a blank check and then just fill it in as they go. MISD says, I've already heard rumors. I'm going to expose their sorry carcasses. MISD that passed that bond says with Reagan and Hinojosa, Energized Midland, they lied to us that our taxes wouldn't go up. They did. there's already rumors saying that people are starting to ask this, where's the money for the MISD bond that passed last year? Because they're starting to lay off teachers now, and they're trying to blame Trump, saying it's Department of Education hogwash. Where's the money in MISD? But Christy, you see what I'm saying? They passed the bonds. They passed the bonds, and then they start wondering, where's the money? The people are asking MISD, where's the freaking money at right now? So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to write a blank check. You know what? And to be honest, you can get mad and say what you want. You're not going to shame me. I don't want to pay for someone else's education. I don't want to pay for Midland College's buildings. I don't give a flip if it's one person going or a million people going. It's not my business. I'm a simple man. It's pretty simple. My money, I want to keep it in my pocket, in my account, and my family comes first. I don't want to pay for your crap. So anyways, let me just finish off this. Landscape and irrigation, 3.5 million. That was actually a big hit. A lot of people, my wife said that she talked to somebody at we were at a restaurant, and they said, I heard your husband say on a video they wanted $3.5 million for landscape. She said, when I heard that, I said, hell no. And they went and voted no. Sis, how does anybody benefit from $3.5 million of landscaping and irrigation? Their whole campus is green. They got trees. What do they want more money for? The point is, exactly. I don't want to pay for it, but if you look at the numbers, this right here makes no sense unless you're a freaking crook. Go ahead, sis.
So it's just going back to the numbers, man. And I call him,
Yo, Daddy.
I called him Doge Dotson is what I called him.
Dotson. I thought you were talking about your dad. Yeah. Well, I kind of brought up your dad's energy in the meeting. I said, what happened to the good old days where if you can't afford it, you don't buy it?
That's right. Cash on the barrel. Absolutely. And, you know, my dad was a little bit different. My dad was a little bit different whenever it came to like mortgages and things like that, but made sure that it was always within, you know, something that he was comfortable with. So Dad did have debt and things like that, but never for frivolous things and never for things that we're going to be in an other category.
Sis, can you believe that? Christy, other category? No. Who does their books like that? Like who does a budget like that? Sis, other. What the hell?
I just want the blank checks. Just send me the checks.
Okay, so go back to Mr. Dotson. I'm going to pull the video up. Mr. Dotson, talk about that. Look, hold on. Before you go there, Christy's talking about Mr. Dotson. The video dropped. This man had a crazy speech. Look it up on my channel. I might play a little bit of it. Awesome. But the point is, y'all, there was no media to cover it. And when they did cover it, the story they put afterwards is, downtown meeting. They give a real lame freaking summary. You know what? I believe the city, Midland College, the Development Corporation, the freaking news media, they're all in cahoots together, y'all. We don't have independent journalists in Midland except for me and a couple other men out here and women. But the point is, I recorded. I thank God for my wife, sis. She held her phone and recorded every speaker, and I'm dropping those clips every day as we go. That's how we got the footage. The city wasn't live streaming it. I asked them, why aren't y'all live streaming this? It's not hard to live stream a freaking meeting. The citizens need to see this. And they even agreed, yeah, you're right, Nito, you're right. And they didn't even record it. They sent us the file, sis, and think about it. The first day, it was a corrupted file. Today, we got the file, and it's all choppy. It's not even working. And we're like, damn, I guess it's kind of a coincidence that the actual meeting they sent us, it's all freaking, you can't even use the clips. Thank God I got the clips, though. So speak about the clip of Dr. Dotson. I'm going to pull it up. Go ahead.
So I started listening to him, and whenever I love anybody that talks actual stats, numbers, facts, like over feelings. And so when I started hearing him get into these numbers, that's when I love anything that has to do with stats. So, you know, he's talking about like how many students are enrolled, how many are online, how many are in person, how many students per teacher that equates out to. And then he was saying that the college had 500 employees, and I can't remember the breakdown of the number of students, but it was absolutely, whenever he started breaking these numbers down, you go, what are these people doing? Like, he was like, and I believe in education. He said, I have 5 degrees, you know? He said,
well,
Christy, not online. He said, sitting through school. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's fixing to play right now. I got the clip right now. Let's go ahead and put it on. But go ahead and make your final statement before I play it. Go ahead. You can say it. Go ahead. What were you going to
say? Just that everything that he presented was absolutely stats and facts and no feelings. And you really benefit from listening to this.
Okay, here he is, y'all. I'm going to play the real quick clip. It's perfectly lined up. Let's go. Dr. Dotson killed it, y'all. I mean, this is just, I couldn't think of a better way to say this. Let's go.
Being shy. So, I'm here to talk about the bond, the Midland College bond, and I'm a man of numbers, okay? I came to Midland, Texas with $20 in my pocket, and a Volkswagen Bug that was on 3 cylinders. 1969. Already we're getting great numbers. There are 6,059 students in Midland College. 2,424 are dual credit. That means they never get on the college for the most part. They never get on the college, which leaves 3,635 students. 1,412 students were enrolled exclusively online of the 3,635 students, which leaves between 1,800 and 2,240, depending on who you're listening to. I'm going to give you both numbers on that. So, 27% of all the students at Midland College are full-time students. 73 are part-time. How are the numbers going so far? That means we have between 486 and 604 full-time students at Midland College. Okay?
Wow.
There are between 1,160 and 1,440 part-time students. There are over 500 employees at Midland College. 53% of them are full-time. That means, this is crazy. So that means between 8 and 12 students for every employee at Midland College. The state average is 25 to 1. The trend is moving towards learning online. Okay, it's moving on towards online learning. I don't like it. I have 5 degrees. None of it was online. I don't think I could handle it. And I don't say that to say anything other than I like school. Okay.
Okay, so he says more. Check it out on the hit Facebook page. But sis, what do you think about those numbers? Ain't that freaking crazy? And then he starts talking about the airport. They look. Besides, touch on the numbers, sis. Give a better summary. I'm gonna talk about the airport. Go ahead.
Okay. So one of the things that he talked about that really, and people need to go in and listen to the whole, like his whole speech that he said. But one of the things that really stood out is, so you have a nursing program at that college, and as soon as people get it, they're getting the heck out of Dodge. They're not even staying around to help Midland. Everybody that is getting a decent degree from that Midland College, they're booking ass up out of there because, you know, they're going to make better money, not pay as high taxes. And you know, when that really stuck out because my mom was a nurse, and I know quite a few traveling nurses that, you know, that travel because they make so much money doing it. But he really talked about that a lot, about, you know, and online education is not the same as in-person education. I don't care what anybody says. But then he started talking about the airport numbers, and I have to be honest, I got a little bit confused about what he was saying. I think that I'm right, but you tell me what you think you meant. I'll say
well, he's explaining right now. He's explaining it right now. Let me see if I can catch it real quick.
Airport, one of the largest airports, and they have 233 parking spots per gate.
In Dallas,
we have 600 parking spots per gate. That means that as a small airport, there are people parking in our airport. And the reason why they're parking in our airport, all you have to do is go look for all the white trucks with the little tentacle up in the air, and they leave Midland, Odessa. They leave here. They don't come. They don't live here. They don't live here at all. They leave here, go back home, and come back after 10 days or a week. Okay? That's why we have a large parking lot. It's not because everybody's using the airport. These are amazing numbers, which not only says we have other problems here, okay, which some of y'all have addressed, but this is to say that Midland College, people don't stick around after they get their degree, or especially if it's a professional degree. They don't, who in their right mind in the oil field is going to go ahead and work and teach at Midland College? I'm going to go ahead and leave my $200,000 job for $35,000 plus good benefits to teach somebody how to weld. I'm going to leave my physical therapy practice and go teach somebody anatomy, which I...
And I'm going to pause it. So, sis, real quick, I just text my group. They might call in. I'm going to put you to my son's phone. But, Christy, this is the thing what he's saying, right? And I think this actually has opened up a can of worms. If anything, you know me, sis. I want to win. Yeah, the mayor looks sick, y'all. Look at this. Everybody look. Hey, shout out Lucy in the chat. My wife was zooming in on the mayor. We do not like the mayor. We didn't vote for her, but she is squirming around, y'all. But Christy, and it's funny, all my videos that went viral, they're all, look at his face. Look at that guy. He looks like a crook. Like, I ain't gonna lie, sis. These town halls, they're bad for them. If I was a town hall, if I was a crooked town council person, I would not want to do town halls like this. This is freaking brutal.
Absolutely not.
But it's necessary. I'm glad they did do it. I give them props.
Yeah.
We brought it to him. But the point what he's trying to say, sis, and I think this opens up a can of worms because this is like a little small movement. They stole the Ranch Stand Golf Course. MISD basically taxed us for these new schools that ain't getting built in the South Side. What do you know? And so it started from there, sis. So we started to pay attention. And now I believe the can of worms or this onion's being peeled back layer at a time. Which one's your phone? This is your son? Which one's that one? Which one works? This one works? I can call? Okay. So the point is, sis, people are starting to pay attention. And we're starting to say that something is not right in my city. So I said to say this, sis, you hear what he's saying, though? And I told my group about this. They gave me a good reasoning or a better way to look at it. Because, of course, we don't want more taxes. But somebody made a comment and said, Nino, we should do like, I think Florida did it at one time. Colorado, they put like an extra % sales tax on everything for people that come into the city, right? Because think about it, sis, everybody comes here to make money. And what do? They come make money, and then they leave, take the money, and we're stuck with the taxes. I made a post on Facebook. I said, man, you want to get rich? Come work in Midland, but don't live here. And we'll pay the taxes
Exactly.
forever. So somebody said they did that in Florida. I don't know if you know about that. It's some kind of a tax they do for places that people don't live there, but they go spend money there. But they told me in the
We
group.
have the tourist.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we have the tourist tax. So we don't pay any like state tax like through our check that most states have, where you have your federal and your state withheld. Tourists take care of that for us, and then we have just a blanket 7% tax, tax on goods, and no tax on food. But I know that like places like Tennessee, Virginia, they tax for food also and groceries. So yeah, it's different, but tourists pay for almost everything for us in Florida.
But that's what I'm saying. It's kind of opening a can of worms. We're like, let's have these questions. Like, why don't they protect the citizens that are lifelong residents here? My parents don't work in the oil field. Like, everybody comes here, makes a lot of money, wrecks and fatalities and all kinds of crime. We got to pay for it, and they get to go back home, sis. So there has to be some kind of way that it will work where you can't just come to West Texas and get rich and freaking go home, and I'm stuck paying this freaking Midland College bond for 40 years. You know what I'm saying? Something needs to come up, dude. I'm not playing with this crap no more.
I have to ask you a question, and this is what I've been sitting here pondering in my mind. Okay, so they want all of this money for enhancements to the college. They then want to find professors that will take a $35,000 salary to teach people how to go out and make $200,000 a year and be in the nicest facility you could ever be in working, but making $35,000 a year. Who's ever going to do that? Who would do that? He's absolutely right.
Well,
who would ever leave a $200,000 job to go to a teaching job? Who would do that?
They just want us to get more money to build more buildings, and they're empty. And like you said, who's going to come? Who wants to come live over here? I'm telling you, we don't even want to live over here no more. I don't want to live in West Texas, but I make so much good money. My whole family's here. I'm stuck here, and I'm probably going to die here. But nobody wants to come to West Texas. It ain't beautiful. I ain't trying to disrespect my city, but it's a desert oil field town with a bunch of ruffians and a bunch of work and a bunch of H2S in the air and a bunch of money. You don't just come to West Texas, ride the rodeo, and go home all happy. You could lose your soul down here, sis. You could go to prison. You can get your DWI. You can lose your marriage. I mean, this happens all the time with these people. Not everybody, I've said it before, can make oil field money and keep it. That's a big thing about it. But like I said, it just trips me out that we are being basically bamboozled into these freaking tax bonds to raise our property tax, our payments that we pay in our property tax. It ain't right. And then they do it in the off season, sis. Guess what day the election's over? Saturday. When everybody's out of town, it's on Saturday, the last day for voting. So it's pretty crazy, y'all. Again, I'm glad this is happening because I don't know. I got a weird feeling, sis, that this right here, like you said, a bunch of little Ninos are popping up. This right here is starting to open the eyes of a lot of people in this country that this ain't right. And they're doing it to us. And I'm telling you, we start talking to these council members. I'm starting to get stories that are coming in, rumors here and there, this, that, and the third. I'm checking on it. And where's our local media? They're freaking worthless. They work against us. So I say that to say this. We are the media, sis. Local citizen journalists like myself, we are the new media. And we're the ones that are holding them accountable, asking these questions, while the local media just gives them a little freaking free-for-all, soft question article and lets them freaking make it. No kind of journalism whatsoever. And it just continues like that in Midland, Texas, because I think they're all in on it. Is it hard to comprehend that? They're all in on it. All of them are all in on it.
I don't even live there, and I can see
you already
the slanted views. I can see the slanted views of the narratives
look at
of
this.
The media. I know more about Midland than probably some Midlanders, you know?
Yeah, you probably do. Sis, how about a sign fiasco? Look at this one. So they stole our signs. The first day of early voting, we got them on camera, the Ring camera. A code enforcement looked like a big old Sasquatch was walking down a neighborhood with the code enforcement right behind her, and she was holding somebody's freaking vote no sign in the neighborhood. They said it was blocking the right of way in a community. We want to know who issued that order. Who told that code enforcement officer to go do that? Because that person told somebody that confronted them. They said, "I'm just doing my job. What they told me to come do." And then look right here, it's just on the screen. I have a big ass freaking picture of an ugly ass vote for Midland College debt sign blocking the freaking road. This is really blocking the road. Our freaking signs are like 12 by 12. This is really blocking the freaking roadway, but they leave those up, right? The city leaves these up, but they go steal our freaking signs, and then they're caught on camera, sis. But you know what? We done filed a police report. A police report was filed today because sis, let's be honest. If you go up to somebody's property, right, and you take something, don't matter. Like my buddy said, Andrew Stern, it don't matter if it's a $1,000 bird bath or a $10 sign. That's somebody's property. So they just filed a police report with the city. The Texas Rangers have been notified, and I have the actual picture here. Theft report filed, and here's Sasquatch. Here's the Midland Sasquatch, y'all, walking with the yellow vote no sign, caught on tape, caught on camera, and it's not really funny. But there's the police report. There's my awesome editing, made the little poster, and then there's the Sasquatch, code enforcement Sasquatch with the code enforcement vehicle following her down the road, taking signs from people's property, y'all. This is what we're dealing with. I told you, they're all in cahoots together. Don't tell me this is all coincidences that this is happening to us. First day of early voting, she's over there stealing our freaking signs, y'all. What do you think about that, sis? Huh?
It's absolutely theft. And your buddy that was speaking about that, they are criminals, and why do they still have jobs?
That's what we're asking them. That's what we're asking them.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's theft. It's criminal behavior. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care if it was a blade of grass off of my lawn that I didn't want removed. It's mine, and you can't touch it.
Sis, but she did. This person did. And then we keep telling them at the meetings, we're like, who issued the order? And Mr. Tommy Gonzalez, I learned a lot about this guy. This guy got a $900,000 severance package when he left El Paso. Now he's our city manager. But you know what he said?
Wow.
Sis, I'm going to pass you the file on him pretty soon, and you're going to go through it. We're going to see something. But he said that, hey, put the blame on me. I'll take the responsibility as a leader and all this. And I kind of thought about that. I was like, that's a pretty, good thing to say, right? But it's only words.
No.
Hold on, Mr. Gonzalez, can we arrest you? Are you going to take the responsibility? Can we arrest you, sir? Think about that. But sis, what kind of person says that, right? They learned that trick somewhere. Oh, you know what? I'll just tell the people, hey, I'm the leader. I'll take the responsibility. Put the blame on me. Oh, is that right? So when we file this police report, Mr. Gonzalez, are you going to take the blame on that too? Because it done got real. We done filed the theft report. You know, but sis, ain't that like a I won't say narcissistic, but ain't that kind of
Publicity
like
stunt.
ain't that like a
Yeah,
maneuver somebody would use to kind of be a cover up? Like just tell them, hey, I'll take the blame. You know,
absolutely.
my employee did it.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's a publicity stunt, and what it does is it calms people's nerves. Going, okay, you've got somebody with their name manager behind their title that's going to be looking into this and taking responsibility and accountability and all of this. And what it really means is that absolutely not shit's going to happen with it, and
Hell yeah, you're right.
people are going to they think people are going to forget about it, and that's what you just can't let happen. Though, is that I think that we get so bogged down with things that we forget about all the fights that we're in. I still want to know why nothing has been done with the library books and the library that was supposed to have been done over a year and a half ago.
It's horrible.
So you've called to action lots of different things to show the corrupt government that's going on in Midland, and I think y'all need to hold their feet to the fire.
Oh, we are.
And absolutely,
Check this out.
absolutely.
So check this one out. This is the newest fiasco. I've been waiting on this one. They send out these flyers. Since I made a video about the flyers, these people. Well, let's go back to the numbers. This is public record. Midland College Works. That's their campaign for pushing this bond. Guess how much money? I don't know if did you see the post? How much money that they had? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay.
No.
Guess how much money they had for their campaign to get this passed. What do you think the number was? How many 100,000? Think about it.
I was gonna say probably over 500,000, but less than 750.
Okay, they have 300,000 to start with. 100,000 was donated from an oil field company. Block the Bond group, my little group, they try to lie and say we're wealthy. Yeah, wealthy in spirit, amen. We only had $13,000, sis. We only had 13K. They had 300K. 100K of that was donated by an oil field company. These are not lies. This is all public record. So who's the big guy here? Tell me that right now. So they constantly send out these flyers. They got so much money they can do it, sis. These big old ugly freaking flyers, hard cardboard stock, cost freaking thousands to make. I already know it.
Yeah.
They're sending out text to everybody, but this is pretty crazy, sis. Right here, they're lying to us. It says this bond will change that without raising taxes on seniors 65 and older. Sis, you heard that clip what I said about Adrian. Remember what I said? You lied to me, Adrian. You said that my family wouldn't pay for this, my parents. And he said, I misspoke. I gave an $8,000 exemption. So let me tell y'all real quick, y'all. They're lying about this because seniors are going to pay for this increase in this tax, right? Why are they putting this on mailers and lying to the people? This came out today. But let me tell you about that exemption. So when he's told me the first time at the meeting, he told me, yeah, and your parents can go to the government website and fill out an exemption form and they won't be taxed on this. I think this is proof that they actually probably had this flyer for a while and they went ahead and just released it at the end. But this is not true. He even told me that day at the meeting, they can file paperwork and they can get exemptions from paying any taxes on this new bond. Later on, we found out that was a lie. In their paperwork, sis, promises on in public, in a public forum or on a commercial, that's one thing. But what matters the most is the paperwork. So we read we read the bond. They probably didn't think would happen. We read the paperwork, and it's a lie. The citizens will not be exempt. Now, the exemption that was put in there, I'm going to tell you, I'll be honest, is $8,000. But let me tell you what that means. That still ain't enough, in my opinion, right? It sounds good. Oh, they'll take $8,000 off your taxes of you having to pay this tax. No, they are only going to take off $8,000 of the evaluation of your home. It ends up being like a penny, sis. You'll pay less per 100,000 or some hogwash. So they're not going to give you an 800,000 tax break. They're giving you $8,000 tax break. They're giving you a $8,000 evaluation on your home. Say your home is worth 300,000. They're gonna knock off the value by $8,000. So you're gonna pay instead of 300,000, you're gonna pay what 282,000. That's what your house is valued at. You get what I'm saying? That's not, what the you know what I said? I said, damn, if you're gonna do it like that, why don't you give them $150,000 tax break then, right? Or evaluation break, what I should say. Why don't you devalue the house half of what it's worth? That kind of makes a little bit more sense. But you want to give $8,000 off of what their house is worth. It only mean it's only a couple pennies, sis. But the point is,
I heard him
Yeah, but the point is,
Okay.
sis, right here it says without raising taxes on seniors 65 and older. Blatant lie. They're lying right
Yeah.
here. It's in black. It's on a damn mailer. They sent out the last day before election is Saturday. Today's Thursday. This came out today, and it says it's not raising the taxes on seniors 65 plus. They are lying to us. Ain't that despicable?
All these sponsors that want this to go through, why don't they just fund the whole project and then charge the college applicants that come in there through tuition and fees and everything,
Sis,
and have to pay for college like I did?
you know what's weird? We toured the college, me and Stan. I don't know if you saw that video, and they have signs up there. College can be free. They have
Yeah.
they have 100%. I would look at the numbers. Numbers don't lie. 100% enrollment percentage. Guess what I don't know if you saw, but guess what the graduation rate is at Midland College?
Oh, I'm sure it's low because it's gotten low everywhere. I'm sure it's really low.
It's 29%.
Yeah, I was going to
20
say I bet it was in the
a
yeah.
quarter. It's basically a quarter or a third or a little bit less than a third of people even graduate from a 2-year college, and they want us to foot the bill. Now, sis, thank you for bringing up that point about the people, because look at their people. I got it right here. They got Warren Cat, ConocoPhillips, Diamondback, Pro Petro. All these people are their supporters, sis. All these rich folk and rich companies are their supporters. Let them cut the check. Let them pay the $450 million that turns into $1.1 billion in 30 to 40 years. Let them pay for it. You know what they're trying to do, sis?
Absolutely.
It's simple as this, sis. I have a bad feeling that big oil has corrupted my city. They bought politicians. They bought these organizations and colleges and schools. They've bought my city and the influence therein. And I'm going to be honest, sis, this right here is very shocking. It's very eye-opening, but this is what we're up against, sis. These people want to make us pay for them. This is the main thing. They want us to pay for the training of oil field workers in HVAC. They claim nurses, but we believe that's lies too, because only 1 point something million goes to the nursing side. They want us, sis, to pay for the training of oil field workers. So you tell me, how does that benefit me and my family, my wife, my kids, and my grandparents that are retired, Christy? How does that benefit me to train oil field workers? Ain't that crazy?
It's just backwards from like the way that I went to school, the way that my father got his double major at school and all of that. It just doesn't make sense. I had to pay tuition. I had one book, and you're talking like, I'm not even gonna tell how long ago it was, but like in one of my psychology books, we had 150 people in that auditorium for that class, and one book was like $110. Like I had to take out student loans. I had to take out all this stuff. I didn't have anybody handing me anything for free and saying, we're gonna make it bigger and better, but we're gonna tax the citizens. It's just a circus. It's just an absolute circus.
You know what's crazy, sis? That ever since the Rona, everything went online. So I don't even believe you heard what Dr. Dotson said. They don't even have that many people on the campus. Me and Stan Smith walked around. It's like a damn ghost town. Everybody in my city knows it. Everybody in Midland, Texas knows if you pass by Midland College, it ain't like it's a big old busting 2-year college. It's freaking bunk and lame, and let it be. Midland College works. Leave it be. I don't want to pay for it. But that's the thing, though, sis. They messed up. I salute the men that went and got me and showed me all this, because once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it, sis. It's like a bad magic trick or a low-grade horror movie, right? You just can't stop watching.
Yep.
And the point is, once they got me involved in this, sis, I'm telling you, me and Stephanie, the last 3 days, my 3 days off, we've been driving up and down, giving signs away, putting signs in yards, making videos. I stood on 191 with the panhandler, and I had my sign in the air. You know what I'm saying, sis? To all 500 to 1,000 damn cars passing by at freaking rush hour. I believe in keeping my money, Christy. You know, sis.
Yeah, I know.
Blood, sweat, and tears I've put into my trucking company. I've almost died on the daily. I'm close to death, and I make my money for my wife and my kids, my dogs, my house, and I don't want my money going to any place that's not my business. And they tell me, Christy, oh, you don't care about your community. You don't care about the kids' education. You know what? I don't care about their education. I only care about me and mine. You ain't going to shame me.
That's absolutely
straight
right.
up.
That's absolutely right. how my son gets educated is not any of your business. It's none of the next person's business. And I don't need anybody to tell me that I don't care about somebody else's education, because I don't think about somebody else. I think about what my son needs, not what a whole community needs. I mean, maybe that's not the way to think, but it is whenever you're talking about money, whenever you're
See,
talking about,
it's tough
you
right now.
know, yeah. I'm just with you on this one. Like, let all these sponsors, let them fund the bill, let them do all of that. Charge these college students the tuition, the fees, and everything to pay back that for that beautiful learning facility that they have, and y'all don't have to worry about it.
And there
Call
I am,
these people
sis.
to action.
I'm right here on
Call these
190.
people to action.
Yep, I agree. And here I am. I got a picture of me on 191. This dude was panhandling. I talked to him. I want to interview him. He's got a crazy story. But I was on 191 yesterday. Yesterday was ending. Was it yesterday? Early voting ended on. I don't forgot. These days have been mixed up. I believe it was yesterday. It was. And I stood on 191, sis, when all the cars come in from the oil field coming into Midland. I stood on the corner with my vote no sign held high in the air for about a good hour. And I was there talking to my buddy right here, this panhandler. And, I took a stance, sis. I believe in this. I believe in keeping our money. I don't believe I should be paying for anybody else's stuff, problems. That's socialism. And this is actually, like I said, anybody watching, don't just think this is happening in Midland, Texas. This is probably happening in your city, but you probably don't even know about it. That's the worst part about it, is that you might not even know. Right under your nose, and you don't even know that they are sitting there
Yeah.
passing these massive bonds. Sis, what happens? Let me ask you a question, Christy. If you pay your house off, Christy, and it's paid off, right? And
Right.
then and then you pay your house off and you don't pay your
You still
tax.
have to
Hold
pay.
on, hold on. You don't pay your property taxes. What happens to your house, Christy?
It gets seized, and you get a tax warrant, and then it goes for auction. So you never own your property. And my dad has talked about this a million times, about how you do not want government in your business or your home. And he talks about that what has happened with all this taxation is absolutely, it's just theft. That's what it is.
Straight
People lose
up.
their homes. They work their entire life to pay off a 35-year mortgage and get it paid off. And then you have things like that have happened to our economy, and you see that you've got all these new bills and new bonds and everything that need to be signed to increase taxes, and you don't have the money to pay your taxes. So everything you worked for your whole entire life could be gone because of you falling behind on your taxes.
And right here, the South.
And it's sold to the highest bidder on the auction, on the courthouse sale.
Yeah. And the South Side has been activated. My buddy Stan Smith is watching. Salute Stan Smith. He's a gentleman that took me to lunch and showed me a lot of this stuff. But he tells me the South Side needs to get activated. And I'm gonna tell you right now, they are. This is my best friend. He didn't even show his face, but he went and voted, sis. And you already know
That's awesome.
my people are hood. They don't need. I had to drag their asses to vote for Trump, but they went and voted because they don't want their taxes raised. They don't care if it's the South Side, North Side, East Side, West Side. It don't matter. It don't matter if it's in Midland, Odessa, Big Spring, San Angelo, Andrews, Snyder, any freaking city in the United States of America. You need to watch out with these freaking bonds they're passing, and it's basically keeping you in debt forever. You're going to pay, they want us to pay $450 million of debt to build buildings at a dead college for 30 to 40 years. And then they want to send us a message. It's only $15. Well, damn, like I said, that's some eggs. That's some milk. If somebody came in my house and stole $20 from my freaking counter, it'd be a problem. I probably wouldn't talk to their ass for the rest of my life. And you want to take 20 bucks from me for 40 freaking years? Kiss my steel toes.
And and to think about that, so that this is where like numbers and stats and everything that matter to me come into play. Because and I don't have this pulled up because I didn't know we were going to go this direction. It would take me a minute to find the actual stats. But if you look at the number of senior citizens who have retired and don't have the money to even get their medications. So what they do is, like with blood pressure medication, they only take a half a dose.
Christy, I remember who was telling us about that, how the old folks, they really can't even afford medication. But continue, sis, I forgot about that.
No, Yeah, it's only $15. It's only $20. You've got seniors out here that work their whole life for the United States of America, for their freedom, for their property, for their rights. And then you start adding all these bonds on, and you have these companies, these multi-billion-dollar companies saying, it's only $15, it's only $20, and they're having to skip days of heart medication or blood pressure medication or, food. It's sad. It's really, really sad. And I hate that they lie to the senior citizens and
They're
say
lying,
that it's not going to affect them,
Christy.
because it absolutely is. And every generation on down from them, it's affecting
Well,
also.
sis, I feel so bad for the senior citizens and the retired people. Well, think about it, sis. Once they put this tax, they levy the tax on the whole city. Property owners, you live in an apartment. The apartment property owner is going to pay more taxes. He's going to pass that to you.
Yep.
Everything in the city gets tighter because these tax increases hit everybody, and we're all suffering, y'all. And it's very sad about the senior citizens. I think about them, and they put a post out saying, the wealthy are trying to stop kids from getting the education, when we're the ones, sis, that are doing for the people that are on fixed incomes, the retired people, my parents. I've been talking about my parents the whole time. I feel bad for my parents. $15 to them, that's a lot of money. But like I said, they're lying. It's only 15. It can be $100 a month. They have it written in the actual bond paperwork. They
Yeah.
can raise the taxes to pay the freaking interest back, or whatever the bond backs is. So I do feel bad for the people that are on fixed incomes. And then somebody told me, Nino, you're an oil man. How dare your parents be on a fixed income? You should this, that. My dad's a proud man, sis. I can't even give him $20. You know what I mean? I can't give him.
Absolutely.
I got to give him if I give him any money, I got to give it and run off. He don't want to take it. He'll probably give it back.
And see,
But
that's
go ahead.
that's the whole mentality. That's the whole mentality that does not make sense to me. Like, I see these rich actors that I like, and I'm even talking about the ones that that I like to watch and like to listen to and things like that. And maybe their brother or sister decided not to get into acting, and they don't hand them a lot of money, but they still have these relationships. Like, what my sister makes and does not equate to my life. And
Well, exactly.
and I get, it's the whole mentality of
That ain't my
of
business.
thinking that, yeah, that we should be here to help everybody all the time, and that the government should, and that's just not the way it works. It
Sis.
just doesn't.
And then somebody even wrote back and said, everybody's on a fixed income. Basically, if you think about it,
We
right?
are now.
Come on now, baby.
Absolutely.
I mean, and then someone,
Yeah.
I'll shout out my Patriots. They went in there and they basically defended me from myself. I had to say nothing. They're like, man, everybody's on a fixed income at this point. How dare you try to
Yeah.
shame Nino for not giving money to his parents, or even considering them at all? You trying to say that shame on me for them being on a fixed income? My dad worked his ass off, sis, and he's on a limited
Absolutely.
budget. I mean, we're not rich.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like that. But you know what? My parents are happy. I'm not gonna lie.
That's it.
I'm not gonna lie. We lost somebody in the hood. I'm not gonna say no names, but we lost a very integral part of the community. And I'll just leave it at that. Man, they had $250,000, sis, and stashed in the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they lived
Yeah.
right here in the hood next to us. I'm like, you would never know. I'm just saying, just because someone lives a certain way, or lives in the ghetto, or lives in the south side, or wherever side of town, that don't mean that you don't know. Their heart could be full of joy, and they could be more richer and blessed than the person that's sitting up there on Cocaine Mountain, Hunter Biden over there. They don't know how to act, right? But not just that.
Nino?
But not just that. My people, like I said, they got money stashed in the damn roof over here in the walls, and they pass and leave their kids big amounts, and they were living a humble life. You would have never known. You just by looking at them. I'm not saying that they look poor, but just by looking at them, you don't think they're freaking big and rich. But they got money stashed away. I'm just saying, looks are deceiving, and you can't always just judge a book by its cover and say that whatever about people. You just don't know. You just don't know. Straight up. Go ahead, sis.
A lot of people just want the simple life,
Yeah, that's
growing
what I'm
up.
saying. That's what I'm saying, sis.
Yeah.
Some people don't want the big house. It's like me. My kids are already fixing to be up out the house. Do you think I want to go buy me a bigger house so I can pay more property tax and then have an empty house and
Exactly.
we're all alone here with my dogs and me and my wife? I mean, you got to buy what you can in your own situation. But let's be honest, to buy a house right now, we're trying to get out of this Biden recession, y'all. The Biden recession.
Exactly.
It ain't easy.
Yeah, another truth. Yeah, but I mean, just for some people, they want the material material things and all of that, and that's fine if that's what they choose. But you can't shame somebody that just wants a simple life.
Look, sis, I'm sorry to cut you off, Antonio. Continue. I'm just talking on the comments. They're talking about other places that are doing the same thing. Go ahead. My bad.
No, that's okay. It's just it just for me, like simple life is just the easiest life. And I've came from a family that was, I'm not going to say rich, but growing up, like we never had to worry about anything, had good Christmases, had great parties and friends and family and all of that. So growing up, I didn't have to worry about anything, but the simple life is just the best life for me anyway.
Remember, I always tell you, Stephanie always says she was kind of more happy when we were broke, sis. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just because you get money don't mean nothing. So I got one saying, commenting right now, shout out, Rose says, Huntsville, Texas, doing the same thing for a new hospital. Any important healthcare, we all have to go towards Houston where the specialists are. Well, I'm going to tell you, we got a hospital bond. We're paying for one right now. And to be honest, our hospital, we called them out. They have horrible nurses. Everybody knows you do not trust the Miller Memorial. They will unalive you. And then here says Gene Anton in Ropes, Texas, doing the same thing. Mostly every city in the United States of America is passing or trying to pass some kind of a bond, which is a tax, and they're going to place that on the citizens to pay for 30 to 40 years. You'll never own your property because of these freaking bonds. I'm paying like 3 freaking bonds right now. Midland College, I'm paying a hospital bond. I'm paying a MISD bond. I'm paying like 3 or 4 bonds right now, sis. $3,000 to $4,000 a year. And I told my wife, and I've been telling everybody, I could invest $4,000 a year, sis, into a mutual fund, an IRA, or a long-time retirement plan. I could be a millionaire in 20, 30 years. But I got to give it to Midland College and freaking MISD. My kids don't even go to school there.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I also think that it is a shame that things are not kept transparent for every citizen to see.
Sis, I'm telling you, sis, in the group, these people have called even the freaking, we've already called the damn feds, and they're out to lunch. We can't even get hold of the feds to do some kind of investigation or something. We got ethics violations. We got freaking election interference. We can't get a hold of nobody.
Yeah.
Sis, this is a major red flag in our cities that your whole city, look, think about it. They stole our signs. We barely pressed charges. They work with the media, the development corporations in bed with the city. They're pushing the Midland College bond. We think there's connections with people that are, I don't want to say certain words, certain positions, but they're all in bed together. And then the media's covering up for them. And then we go out there and talk ish at a freaking town hall, and then they call us crazy on the radio.
No, that's what I was getting ready to say. You better believe if the media hates somebody, if these sponsors hate somebody, that is because there's an agenda behind it. They hate you because you're exposing exactly what's going on, and they do not want that out, and they do not want the corruption to show. Yeah.
And here's this hater. Where's your faith in Christ? Seems like you're obsessed with Satan's fiat currency. Hey, Che Guerrero. I'm gonna block your ass in a minute, you freaking hater. But I'm gonna tell you something. I work my ass off for my money. And you know what? I am a Christian. And when I do die, I am going to heaven because my faith is in Christ Jesus. But as long as I'm on earth, I'm going to preach the gospel, and I best believe I'm going to work hard for my money and provide for my family. So get out of here with that socialist bullcrap. Your name's Che Guerrero or whatever you hell on YouTube, you freaking loser. Don't get on here trying to tell me a damn thing about having faith in fiat currency. Fool, if you didn't have no money, you wouldn't be watching me right now on your Wi-Fi Obama phone, dumbass. Straight up. What the hell? Hey, don't try to shame me. I hate when they try to shame me. Oh, you're a Christian, but you're worried about it. You damn right I'm worried about it. Paul did the same thing. He used his Roman citizenship to go speak to the leaders out there in his city. I'm going to do the same thing. I am a Christian, but I am going to talk my ish at the damn town hall meetings because I work my ass off for my money and I got to provide for my family. Don't give me that crap. Oh, you don't have your faith in Jesus because you're worried about, no, the hell, that's my responsibility to be a good steward of the money. The Bible talks about money.
You have no idea what you're even talking about.
Your faith is in money. I don't give a. You know what, man? Get him out of here, Christy. Ban this fool. You know this fool's a player hater. So, anyways,
I just want to say this real quick though. People that talk that absolutely have no idea what you do, and and you don't have to even explain it, and don't even give them any mind. It's people that are just trying to get you worked up because they know that you're right. And that's the only thing they can do is it's the devil in the comment.
It's just, and I stopped responding to negative comments, but it's like people are telling me, "Oh, you should do this," or "What are you doing?" or "Do you why? Well, the city don't care." You know what? It don't matter. I care. I'm gonna go downtown and I'm gonna go talk my ish. I'm gonna go be the thorn in their freaking side. And I'm gonna say, "Hey, we're watching you, and I don't want to be paying for this crap." Real quick, I want to do a real quick dissect of this actual post. So they're watching us, right? They released this statement, Millen College. Please don't believe the lies, whatever, right? See, they're not really. They're on the defense now because they know we're on their ass hot and heavy. But they wrote a statement saying that they're packed and they got to turn away kids. I don't care if you got to turn away 1 million kids. That ain't my business. But check it out, sis. They've been burning them. Somebody wrote this and sent this picture to us and said they've been like this every time they go do classwork this semester. The freaking computer lab is empty. We got proof. We went and walked the damn college campus. Why do I want to give them my hard-earned money for an empty-ass ghost town campus? Look, and then the actual caption, computer lab on date shown. They actually have a picture with the date shown. That's another picture. In third picture, it has been like this every time I've gone into work on classwork this semester. This is the bustling college we want to give our money to. Not me. This right here don't seem like anybody's even benefiting from this. I'm going to be honest. I think someone's going to get rich, Christy. I think many people are going to get rich off this $450 million freaking pork bond over here, Christy. Because look, where's the students at? Even my wife said, she said, every time you see a commercial, it's only like the same 2 students walking in and out the class. They can't even get no students to do a damn commercial. Then my wife's friend told her that when her daughter goes to class, it's been like this for years. It's a freaking ghost town. There's like 3 people in the class. If they go get a room, what do you call it when you go get a dorm? It's like someone said they ain't had a damn roommate in years at the damn college. It's a 2-year college and they want $450 freaking million.
Yeah. And, so this is how far your voice is reaching, though. My sister, who is like literally in a part of her life that has been very traumatic and things like that, and we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah.
Even she talked to me about it the other day. She called and I saw that you had kind of pinned her comment that she had said that it's gone nationwide about like people stealing y'all's signs and things like that, and that it was the employees of Midland that were taking y'all signs down.
Chrissy, don't tell me that's not is that a coincidence or what? Stephanie said there ain't no coincidence. This is a coincidence.
There's not.
They took our signs, y'all. They took our signs first day of early voting in a residential neighborhood. That's what they did to us, y'all. And I think what happened, Christy, the worst thing that could happen to them happened. People woke up. People did their research. They started digging into this, and they said, oh, hell no, we're tired of being bonded to death. They want to give us a bond every 2. That's what I told them in the meeting. Every 2-3 years, you come out with the bond. I just found out how it works. You shoot down a bond, it takes them 3 years for they can refile it. So you shoot this one down in 3 years, they're going to come back at you. So you got to keep being proactive against these bonds because they want to take your freaking money and they want to keep it. And you know what? It ain't going to go to a college. They make this fake ass itemized report, and I believe someone's going to get rich, but it ain't me and it ain't you. We're going to pay the bill. They're going to be sitting there drinking a bourbon, smoking a big old fat cigar, big old stogie, laughing about it and saying, yeah, these dumbass voters didn't even come out and vote and we got their ass. Man, screw that.
Exactly
but like I said, Christy, like I said, I already know. I ain't trying to take credit for nothing. I'm going to be honest. It's a team effort. A lot of good people were involved in this. A citizen spoke up. But I'm going to tell you, Christy, I already know. The moment they saw me walking campus that first day when I talked to Fresno, that illegal helper transplant, the moment I walked in, sis, I saw their faces. And I don't know if they knew me or not, but I guarantee you when they saw me, they said, oh no, we got opposition. And even when I was on the corner with my sign before the meeting started, me and Stan Smith, I saw the president, long-haired hippie, driving in with his wife, and he saw us on the corner of Midland College South facility, Cogdale. We had our signs in the air, and sis, he had a smug look on his face. That dude had an elitist, ugly California, Austin, Texas smug look on his face looking at us, and he was probably in his head like, okay, there they are, laughing at us, sis, because we were out there, the regular folk were on that corner in the south side of Midland putting our damn signs in the air that we ain't going to go for this crap. And I guarantee you when he saw, he said, oh, crap, there they are, the opposition. And that's what it took, y'all. That's what it takes for the common folk to come together, black, white, brown, purple, I don't care what you are, as long as you're legal, you come together and we fight against this illegal taxation upon the citizens of any city. Go ahead.
and you walk into a meeting and walk up to the podium, and you don't even have to have the volume on just to see the looks on their faces going, oh gosh, here comes Nino. Like squirming in their chairs, knowing
They
that
don't
you're
like me,
just getting
sis. They,
ready.
they don't like me. And you know
You're
what? I
getting
say
ready to
good.
give the fire and brimstone. Yep.
Well, Christian, let's be honest. I'm not trying to get drag shows in my city or perverts to read to kids or trying to get pervert books for kids. Like, what am I doing? I want to keep our money. I want to do for the Christian conservative, financially conservative, fiscal adults in the room. I'm doing for them. For the people that work hard for their money, the people that have families, properties, and businesses. We don't shame capitalists. We don't shame the wealthy. We want to be wealthy. There's nothing wrong with working hard for what you want, right? I'm doing for the regular, everyday man, such as my co-partners here. We're not doing for wickedness. We're doing for
Right.
righteousness. And sis, the Bible's
Absolutely.
very clear. The borrower is slave to the lender. I don't want to be in debt. I don't think anybody wants to be in debt. Being in debt is basically,
Absolutely
I
not.
would say, it's borderline a sin to be in debt. I'm not
It,
going to say it's
it
a sin.
is.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's close there, right? And there's scripture against it, but it's pretty bad to be in debt. I know the Bible talks very clearly to not be in debt. It's a bad
I think
position to be. Go ahead, sis.
I think it makes you feel imprisoned. And, unfortunately, I do have some medical debt, and that's just being 100% honest. But, you see those calls come in, and it gives you this feeling of like, that you're imprisoned to somebody else. And I can't stand, I hate being in debt. I don't think anybody likes it, but they have no problem passing it on to the
Yeah,
common, to the
yeah.
common man. You
Hey,
know what
sis.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you're right. And
yeah.
here we are. Me and Stan, we're walking through All Midland College, sis. It's just a peaceful, calm college. Nobody around. Ghost town, kind of creepy. Nobody's there. So, anyways, I want to go to our last segment, sis. This is very important to Christy, y'all. So this is the end of the actual, vote no against the bond. I just want to say right now, please, ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, please, Saturday, if you're listening to me, Midland, Texas, Odessa too, go vote in Midland in particular against the bond. $450 million of taxes they want to raise on us is going to raise your house payment anywhere from $15 to $30 a month for 40 years. And it can increase over time. In the bond paperwork, they actually say that they can raise it to pay the debt off, so it could be $1,000 a month. They don't give us the black and white answer. So I would ask you and beseech you, fellow citizens, go and vote against this bond that Midland College is pushing upon the tax-paying citizen for these buildings and this empty-ass, lame campus. You know what? I don't have nothing against Midland College and their people and their teachers on campus. The thing is, I don't want to pay for nothing over there, and that's my right as a free citizen in the United States of America. Go vote Saturday. It's the last day. It's election day, and let's not get screwed over by these oligarchs, these rich people that think they know better and they're more educated than us, and they want to spend your hard-earned money. Saturday, go vote. And I would even say Odessa, Midland, Big Spring, San Angelo, any place that they are pushing these bonds on you. Don't trust them. They want you to write a big ass blank check. And you know what? Thank God that Nino America is here yelling at you and telling you about this. There's no warning too strong. They want to take your money and use it to line their pockets and get rich while you stay broke forever until you croak. Go vote Saturday and vote against this taxation of the people. At least I'm warning you. And with that, next subject. Christy.
Nino.
So something very bad happened to you and your family. Let's get to that situation right here. Christy, go ahead, give a quick summary, and we will pull up the info. Go ahead.
So, long story short, I am kind of living between two residences right now from Florida and Tennessee. I was in Tennessee on the 19th, and I get a phone call from my sister's best friend who says, have you talked to your sister? Oh my God, your niece is dead. And it was the most traumatizing call I've ever had in my life. I can't even begin to tell you, like, the way that I felt inside. And I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, I need to talk to your sister. I need to talk to your sister. And so, like, I'm trying to get this crazy lady off the phone, bless her heart, so that I can call my sister and find out what's going on. And my sister is hysterical on the phone going, they won't give me any information. She said, I've called the hospitals, I've called the detectives, I've called everybody. All we knew for sure that there was a shooting in Savannah, Georgia, and that a female had been shot. The way that we found out that it was my niece is that one of my other nieces happened to see my niece's ex-boyfriend's post on Instagram that he was apologizing for any disappointment to his family and friends.
And it's actually public record, correct?
Yes, I mean, I've got all, I mean, it's, if anybody wants to, when you pull that up, if they go look at that, go find me that you have up, it literally shows the post that he made and about my niece and all of that. So long story short, my sister's getting no answers. We don't know if Lily is, I said her name out loud. Well, it's okay because it's on there anyway. But anyway, so we don't know if Lily is okay, if she's not okay, what's going on. Finally, my sister throws a big enough fit that she gets a detective to break down a little bit to her, saying that my niece was in intensive care on a respirator and had suffered 36 wounds from a modified pew-pew, a switch, which made it an automatic. Found out that she had been taken to emergency surgery to have a rod put in her hip, that he had broken both arms, both legs, with as many times as the rounds hit her. It was just shattering bone. So that caused both arms, both legs, multiple wounds to the feet, a wound to the shoulder, a wound to the back, and them to keep her in a medically induced coma for, I guess it was probably about 48 hours total, I guess.
How old is she?
Hold on 1 second. She's 20 years old. She is beautiful. She is the sweetest thing. I've always called her my little Belle. She is just the sweetest thing and is funny and like lights up a room. And her ex-boyfriend couldn't take the rejection that she did not want to be with him anymore. So what we know is that this is what happened, that there was it's some kind of festival party thing that happens in Savannah. I don't know the name of it. I don't know all that, and I don't really care. But anyway, that was going on. She was there, and that her and him had started arguing outside, and a man heard a gunshot. He flips open his curtain and sees the ex-boyfriend standing over my niece shooting, and starts banging on the window, trying to get him, like, just to run, like, hey, I see you doing this. I'm going to call the police and all that. Didn't phase this dude. So the guy, we found out, was former military. He took off running towards the shooter. And whenever he saw that the guy was running towards him, he took off, and the shooter actually ran into the cop's arms. Whenever I tell you, like, we got all this information and we didn't know how to process any of it, all I can say is I have never known what it feels like to truly hate someone ever, ever, ever in my life. But I hated him. When I tell you hated him, like, my mind was going down dark ways that I would never in my Christianity think would ever even creep into my conscience. And so my sister is like hurrying to get to Savannah to be with Lil Belle. And I'm calling to try to get updates and all this and all that. And I remember that I just went into these prayers that I would cry through some of them. I would scream through some of them. I would weep through some of them. I would just have a normal prayer through some of them. And in an instant, and I cannot explain it to anybody and don't know how, my hate for him was gone. And I'll tell you why.
What? Wow.
Everything was stacked against her that night. But there happened to be, okay, and let me tell you, he also shot one of her friends that was there with her in the arm. And he was he was in the Navy. So NCIS, FBI, ATF, local, everybody's involved in this investigation and all of that. But so in that moment, though, my mind went from absolutely hating him to not hating him, knowing that I don't know if I can ever forgive him, and that's just for me and Jesus to work on, but that I could not accept every miracle that happened that night to have happened. There was a military man that ran towards my niece that scared him away. He ran right into the cop's arms where he tried to play the victim and say that he was the one that actually had been shot, which was completely false. Y'all can look all this up. Like, it's all over it went nationwide news. It's on Yahoo News and went everywhere. But the police officer that was there pulled my niece from the bushes, I guess, after so many, wounds, that she was probably trying to like get some kind of protection from any other thing that was going to come towards her. So she was partially under the bushes. He pulled her from the bushes and he immediately had a tourniquet to pull around, which would have been at that time the most life-threatening injury. An artery that was gushing blood, according to the officer's report, and in that GoFundMe, the officer's report's in there.
Christy, and you said that was on the thigh, correct?
Yeah, like in the thigh area.
Real quick, I just want to say, I don't want to compare it to Young Scooter, but Young Scooter jumped the fence, the rapper from Atlanta, and he cut his upper thigh and he bled to death. So people don't know, you can get shot on your leg or your arm or whatever. You can hit an artery and it's over, right?
Yeah, your femoral artery. They use that a lot for like, if you're going to have like a heart catheterization, it's a major artery, and you can bleed out like within, minutes, just be gone. And from what we understand, Lil Bell went from being conscious on the scene to unconscious, and then back to being conscious at the hospital, but refused to go in for emergency surgery until she talked to the detective to say who had done this to her. But back to the hate that I had for him, I can say that I have never had such evil thoughts go through my mind, but I don't even know how to explain it. There was just clarity, and it was almost like it was put in front of my face. I gave you these miracles that the police were that quick. The police officer knew how to correctly use a tourniquet, that the shooter ran into a police officer's arms,
right?
That he was, that all of the 36 wounds. I don't know the exact number of bullets. I don't know, because some went in and out, some stayed in. She's already had some that are working towards the surface that they're going to be able to remove out, like fragments of. So I don't have like all the exact details of that. All I know is this is just a very long road for her. The man that saved her life. So my niece, and I can't go into a whole lot, but she's being very protected right now. And the man that saved her, that ran towards the shooter, was allowed to come up and see her. And they had just taken the breathing tube out of Lily. And Lily was able to whisper to him, "Thank you, you saved my life." And I think it's whenever those details all kind of came together that for me, I can't say that I hate him anymore. I can't take away those miracles, and that's exactly what it does in my mind, is it cancels those miracles. But it's a miracle she's here, and it's a miracle that he posted like he did, and I hope that he gets the full, justice that he deserves, and those jurors will be the ones to see what happens. But he is still at no bond at this time.
Good. Hope they keep him in there. Okay, so Christy, let me just ask you, how's Kara doing? I know she's in the comments right now. I got a player hater in the comments too, but we won't even pay him no mind. I can't block him on
Yeah,
Facebook
I
right
just
now. Christy, but how's Kara doing?
Oh my gosh. So to get that call that everybody's calling her all at once, and she's calling every hospital there. She's calling 911. She's calling detectives. She's calling all these things, and them saying we can't give out any information. Usually that means because there's a homicide investigation going on. We were
Damn.
blessed for us that that's not what it was. But my sister was a nervous wreck. My sister just has a lot on her plate. This is 7.5 hours from where my sister's house is. So having to, pay for room and board. Lily has been taken out of intensive care and moved down to the step down unit, which is a good thing. They still don't allow overnight visitors. So that means that somebody has to, get a hotel room and be there with her for the majority of the day. They have said that she will have to have extensive physical therapy, rehabilitation, because if you look at her arm, and you in the picture you can't see it really good right now, but if you zoom in on it, you see that it looks like kind of like a map with curves in it. That's how many times he got her in the arm that caused both arms to be broken. The other arm is more up towards the shoulder area, but um, she's going to end up having to learn how to walk again. He got her feet a lot, from what I understand. She had to have a metal rod put in her hip. She has a bullet that is on her shoulder area now that they aren't sure if it's going to be surgery or if it'll work its way out or if they can, we're still learning all of that. The main thing right now is no infection. Please, no infection. Those prayers are what we need, is no infection, and just that justice will be served. I can't say that I hate him. I despise what he did to my niece, but I cannot say that I hate the man because it just kept repeating in my head. Somebody said this to me one time that, it says nowhere in the Bible that we won't have pain or suffering, just that in the end, it'll all be worth it. And the hate was lifted from my heart. I absolutely think she needs justice, but I cannot say that I hate him anymore. I just can't.
So, with this happening, I guess I thank you for sharing this quick story, sis. What would you tell anybody else out there that when they have an extreme case of violence like this that happens to them, like what kind of advice would you give them? Because of course you say by the power of prayer and our Lord, it was lifted from you, this hate. It's really a burden to carry. Let's be honest, it's going to like tear you apart. What kind of advice would you give to someone that's in the same shoes as you and your family?
I think the first thing is, so, that I have on Facebook, I have a community group that I started that has almost 31,000 members now. And I posted just something general about Lily's story. And it was about abusers. They do not change. And it is just going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. They have to find a way out, and the abusers have to find a way to not feel shamed whenever they come out and talk about how many times they gave them a try again or whatever. That you can't victim shame. But I would say, that prayer, I'm telling you, it was prayer for me. And I'm not saying that part of the grieving process, because there's lots of layers to grief, that when it comes time for trial or whatever, that I don't go back to a hatred in my heart. I'm praying that doesn't happen. But for now, that's where I am. I don't hate him. I think that he is very evil and twisted. And my God is just so much more powerful, though, than anybody that's evil or twisted.
Real quick, he has a GoFundMe. What did you think about that?
So I heard about that, and I posted it, I believe, I can't remember if it's on my Facebook or where it is. I have the screenshot still, but it was his little sister saying, "We found out the story. We need help. My brother's been charged with 6 felonies." And it was so fresh whenever that came out, though, I was still in the hate mode whenever I first read that, and I wanted to find her. And that's just been lifted from me. I just can do nothing but focus on Lily getting better. She's going to have a long, long road ahead in physical therapy. It's going to have to be an inpatient physical therapy. She's going to have to probably learn to re-walk all over again. You know, now that she has the metal rod in her hip, she's 20, beautiful, smart, and she didn't deserve it. She absolutely didn't. But always, always just let people know where you are. Like, let somebody, let your mama, your sister, your friends, somebody know what's going on in your life. If this man had been abusing her or whatever, I didn't know anything about it, but let somebody know, because this is the outcome too often.
Okay, and final thing I want to say, y'all, this is my sis right here. I never ask nobody for donations, right, Christy? We never
Right.
ask our crowd for GoFundMe's or nothing like that. Because first of all, I don't really trust anybody with GoFundMe's, and we've had a little bit of bad luck in the past here and there when I think
Yeah.
I try to help somebody, or I just don't trust it. Y'all don't like him getting involved with money, but this is Christy, my sis. Y'all are raising money. Can you talk about the GoFundMe real quick, sis? Go ahead.
So everything, Lily is the direct beneficiary of the GoFundMe ever. So I'm going to be 100% transparent. The detectives still have Lily's phone right now as they're going, and as they need to have, as they're getting, all the evidence and everything together. But they're working on getting Lily's routing number and account number to put on the GoFundMe right now. Like, I can screenshot and show that all that money that shows is there is still sitting there. Nothing's been withdrawn. It will all go straight into Lily's account. And it's just going to be for the future needs of whatever Lily needs. If it is that she needs my sister to be there with her for 3 weeks at a time and needs, to help my sister with the hotel room, or if she needs somebody when she gets out to help her, with personal care. She's just got a very long road. You have 4 extremities that are broken. You were shot. I don't even know if I mentioned this. She was shot through her torso. And the doctor said how it did not hit any major organ. Like, it was a miracle. Everything was a miracle. The whole situation was a miracle. As bad as what it was that happened to her, for her to be able to tell me that she loved me 48 hours after that, that's all it is. Nobody can have 36 wounds and come through like she did. And there's nothing that can convince me that it was not because of the power of prayer and me lifting that hate from my heart. I had to. I had to receive the blessing. I couldn't block the blessing.
Amen. And with that, y'all, we do ask if you can donate, go ahead. But really, we ask really for prayer. We believe in the power of prayer. Me and Chrissy been partners for a long time in the social media situation, y'all. Great person. This is my road dog right here. And I ask that you help in any way, but really in prayer. Prayer means a lot to us. We always ask for prayers. We never ask for money, but we always ask for prayers, y'all. And with that, I just want to say thank you, sis, for sharing that story. I'll be praying for your niece. Me and my wife have been praying for her, and we hope the best for her. And I just thank God that she's alive, because 30 plus,
Me too.
exit wounds. Come on. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
miracle in itself. With that, I
I
appreciate everybody.
mean,
Go ahead, sis.
just the thing I was going to say real quick, just for that police officer that was the one that said that he shielded her and kept the scene secure while he was able to put that tourniquet on. Like, it's just so amazing, because there was so much chaos. Like, you had a guy inside the hotel that was shot. You had people running around outside, and just the amount of injury that she had, and the people that were in the exact place that they need to be, the exact time. That I really don't believe that that's coincidence. That is just God's timing, God's plan.
Amen. And with that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and wind down here, sis. Thank you, Christy, again. Thank everybody for on the live tonight. Kind of a somber ending. I was going in on the actual voting situation in Midland, and I had to touch on my good friend and sister in Christ, the story that has rocked her and her family's world. Again, I hope the best, sis. I hope she recovers completely in the name of Jesus. If anybody out there, the GoFundMe's on here. We'll post a link. I'll share Christy's info. If you can donate, if you can, and we would really ask if you could pray for what do you call her, baby Lily? What do you call her? Lily Bell.
I call her Lil Bell.
Lil Bell.
Yeah, Lily Bell. I started off with Lily Bell, and it was Lil Bell or Lily Bug, but she is, I'm telling you, she is the sweetest thing. I cannot wait whenever she has recovered enough that she can sit up on a live with you, because she is beautiful and loves going live and say that she's recovered and show what the power of prayer does. She's a miracle.
Amen. With that, y'all, we appreciate y'all for joining us on the live, and God bless you, Christy, everybody else watching. And we're out of here, y'all. Christ is Lord.
Good night.
Amen.
Amen.